guys, I'm Aussie Villain, and welcome to the opening day preview for the 2021 Silicon Storks as we get ready for our second season in charge at the club. And I've got to say, looking at the squad rankings here, we're looking very, very strong for this year. That is for sure. You can see our star players there: Francesco Caraballo, Max Povse, who of course was brilliant for us last year, and Shairon Martis as well, the new pitcher that we got in as well. So we've got lots and lots of stars. As usual, we will sort of turn a blind eye over the prospects. Not too much there. We have apparently the biggest payroll, which is nice. We still have more money to spend if we want to on extensions and free agents, but I'm pretty happy with what we've got. We'll start by having a quick look at the coaching staff. My assistant GM is Renat Kruger, I guess you'd pronounce that. He's, as I said last time, he's just here just to do things I forget to do. So that is Reynard there. Our manager, we stuck with Barry Larkin. I think we finished last season strongly. We kind of, I think, got the best out of him, figured out the way to get the best out of him. My only small concern is that he's a small ball management style. We have quite a few power hitters this year, so I'm not sure if it's going to be compatible or not, but we've kept him on, and hopefully he'll do a good job for us. So Barry Larkin is still the manager. You can see relationships at average at best. He's got good development influence, though. There's his sample lineups, but we won't be worrying too much about what he thinks about that kind of stuff. Then if we go back, back again, and back again. There we go. We can see, where are we here? Bench coach. We have got in Matt LaCroix for this season. We didn't have a bench coach last year. I'm hoping having a bench coach will just help generally. I don't really know what a bench coach does, if I'm honest, but there we go. That is Matt LaCroix, our bench coach. We have kept on Mitch Williams as the pitching coach. He did okay. Pitching was not a weakness for us last year. It was a big strength. So we've kept him on because he did a good job. ERA of 3.63 across the whole pitching staff, which, considering some of the, I'll say, rubbish we had in the bullpen last year, that's not too bad at all. Hitting coach, we have made a change here. We have got in Dominic Sadler, basically because our hitting coach last year did not want to stay. So we've had to make a change there. Hopefully, Donnie will do a good job here for us, and yeah, we'll hit lots and lots of home runs. That's the plan. And if we go have a quick look down here at our scouting director, we did make a change. I risked letting our scouting director go, sort of not renewing him and then hoping someone better was off contract as well. It didn't happen. We've unfortunately downgraded a little bit on the scouting director, but that's okay. And the last thing here is the trainer. We do have a very good trainer. We've tied them into a long-term contract as well, so let's hope that Ashley Wenger continues to do a very, very good job here for us. So that's the coaching staff. Let's have a quick look now at our team that we are going to have starting opening day. We've got HCAW on opening day. Let's start by having a look at first base. Francesco Caraballo. So Francesco Caraballo, he's good. There's no way around that. Very, very good defensive player. Lots and lots of contact and power and home runs. We can see where he's done okay in previous seasons. If we compare him sort of relative to Major League Baseball, he'd make teams, wouldn't he? He's good enough to play in Major League Baseball. So he's a real coup for us. Hopefully he'll live up to his expectations there. Next up, it is second base. Nick Urbanus. So Nick Urbanus is back for another year at second base. He was solid for us last year, leading off the batting as well. I'd like a little bit more than the 264 batting average we got from him, but the 414 on-base percentage is fine. He seems to get hit a lot, if I remember correctly. 27 walks last season. Plus, I think he got hit a bunch of times as well, didn't he? We can get this caught stealing number of 10 down a little bit. That will definitely help, but he did really well for us last year. He won the Gold Glove as well, didn't he, at second base? So, more of the same, please, Nick. Next up, it's third base. Quillen DeVint. One of a few left over from last year. Quillen DeVint keeps his place at third base. Not the best defensive player. We saw him make a lot of errors there last year, but he did have a really good year at the bat, batting .297. If he can do something like that again, we'll be very, very happy. Yeah, good on-base percentage as well. He was solid enough. You know, he stole 10 bases. There was no need to replace him, so we didn't, basically. Next up, it's shortstop. Ryan Jackson. And the second of our foreign players, Ryan Jackson. is Randy Jackson. Just sounds like a better baseball name, doesn't it? But Ryan Jackson is the shortstop. He can also cover second base and third base, which is perfect. A good contact hitter, good discipline at the plate as well. You can see last year he was in an independent league in Japan, I'm going to assume that is. Batted .337, an on-base percentage of a smidge under 500. That is insane. So if we can do anything sort of similar to him, out of those sorts of numbers out of him this season, we're going to be very, very happy indeed. Next up, it's left field. Roger Bernardina. Another of the new boys, Roger Bernardina. 36 years old, here for a good time, not a long time I suggest, but again, really, really good home run power, good gap power as well, good contact. If we compare him to Major League Baseball, again, there's worse players in my Toronto Blue Jays team, I'll be honest. So, yeah, really, really happy to have him. Good base runner as well, good bunter, good defensive player out there in left field. Could fill in anywhere if we needed him to, really. Yeah, I mean, last year playing in AAA, he batted .333, on-base percentage of .450. Yeah, really, really high hopes for this guy. Let's hope he delivers for us. Let's move over to center field. Daytan Biegel. Another of the leftovers from last year, Daytan Biegel, and I really do think this guy's good. We can see there potentially he's very good. So we're going to stick with him in center field. He did okay last year. He went through a massive slump, sort of 2/3 of the way through the year, but still batted .230, almost percentage of .313. He's a good outfielder as well. And we're just giving a youngster a chance, basically. So Daytan Biegel will be center field, hopefully for the entire season. That brings us to right field. Johnny Bladell. Johnny Bladell, we missed him at the end of last year when he was injured with his post-concussion syndrome. He's back. Hopefully he'll stay fit all year. He's very, very good defensively in left or right field. Before he was injured last year, he batted .361, on-base percentage of .466. If he can keep those numbers up over the course of a season, we'll be very, very happy indeed. So yeah, Johnny Bladell, if he stays fit, he's going to be a star for us. Let's have a look at the catcher. Jarreau Martina. Jarreau Martina, of course, another of the new signings. We bought him in from Curacao. He did decent enough last year. He's an upgrade, certainly at the plate on our catchers previously. Not so much defensively, though. He can fill in the outfield as well, so he could have a little bit of use for us in a number of areas. But last year, about a .284, on-base percentage of .355. If we can get something like that out of him this year, I'll be more than happy. Let's have a look now at the designated hitter. Kendrick Delima. We're going with Kendrick Delima. He's a good defensive first baseman. He should be better than he was last season when he played for us. He's had, I'll tell you now, we'll review spring training before next episode, but he's had a storming spring training, which is really, really promising to see. Last year, he only batted .138, but he did have a decent on-base percentage at .310. So I'm hoping his spring training form lives up to expectation for this season. Maybe I expected him to be a lot better last year, so hopefully, we get more like what he did in 2018, that .279 number. I'll be happy with that. And if he doesn't work out, we've got a number of other options, as we'll see in a second, on the bench. Let's have a look at the starting rotation. Jose Almonte, Max Crofts, Shairon, Martis. So number one in the rotation is Jose Almonte. He was a star for us last year. Look at that. Led the leagues in games, started innings pitched, and strikeouts as well. Just the one short on WAR as well. An absolute star he was. He's only 25. Hopefully he'll be even better this season. And he'll run the league if he's any better, won't he? Second in the rotation is Max Profs. He was a star last year as well. Look at those ratings. Hopefully he'll do okay. I mean, if we look at him compared to Major League Baseball, again, I mean, he's good enough to will certainly be in the conversation at sort of a number 5 rotation starter for a lesser team, that's for sure. He has played AAA before, didn't do too much there, but last year, as I said, he was an absolute star for us. Just a smidgen off of Almonte in a few of these categories here, but yeah, very, very strong first 2 pitches. And the third guy in the rotation is Shairon Martis. Again, he was really, really good last year playing for L&D Amsterdam. Led the league in wins. ERA of 183 as well. ERA plus of 211. WAR of 2.3. We've bought him in trying to, we've got a good team. So we bought him in. We paid a lot of money for him, 52 grand, just for this 1 year to try and win the league. And I tell you what, there's not going to be many teams that have a better starting rotation than those 3. Let's have a look at the bullpen. So our closer will be Barry Van Drill. He has actually got a little bit of a knock, so he's going to miss the start of the season, but he was quite good for us last year. You can see there, where are we looking at here? Whip of 111, ERA of 3. He had 7 saves from 10 games. It's not too bad. Another of the new boys, Timo Van Antcombe. Now, he will be closing while we're waiting for Van Drill to come back. He was an absolute star last year as well. Played in 33 games. Led the lead in walks, which isn't great, but 98 strikeouts from 60, almost 70 innings pitched. Strikeouts 12.7 per 9 innings pitched. 0 home runs given up. Really, really high hopes for this guy. Chris Koyman steps back into the bullpen after a solid season last year, sort of in our starting rotation, third in the starting rotation. He did give up a few home runs last year. He was solid enough without being outstanding, but I think he'll do a good job for us in the bullpen. Ibrahim Redden, again, solid enough last year without being outstanding. 4.5 or so ERA. We need him to be maybe a little bit better than that, but, I mean, we don't use the bullpen that much. If we've got strong starters and strong sort of closers and setup guys, I don't know if we're going to use these guys too much, so they just need to be solid for us. Left arm option now, Stephen Muhammad. Again, just solid. That's all he needs to be for us. Just don't cost us games. You see, he got a win last year. ERA maybe a little bit too high, getting up towards 5. But yeah, again, just be solid when we need you, mate. Gilles Timmer, he keeps his place in the bullpen as one of the longer relievers. Again, last year he was quite good, to be honest. ERA of just over 4. Did a good job for us. If we can get something similar out of him this season, I'll be quite happy. And the final member of the bullpen, Howard Winkler. Again, another one of the new boys. Again, he's got a little bit of an injury to start the season, so we won't see him for the first 2 games. But a very, very high potential indeed. If we can get something out of him, then I'll be very, very happy. He's going to be in there as a long reliever. Last year, he didn't do too well for DSS, but I have faith as a young player, he'll just continue to get better. Let's have a look at the bench players. First up, it's Jurriën Dijk. He's a leader in the clubhouse. He's a good defensive catcher. And to be honest, he did okay for us last year. I was relatively pleased with him. Obviously, batting average could be better, but yeah, I mean, he does what he does. Kurt Smith, another one of the new boys. My initial plan was that he would be a designated hitter. Delima has kind of earned the right to start in that position, but he's on the bench and he's there if we need him. You can see he's last year playing in the independent league in the US, batted 288, on-base percentage of 344. More of those would be great. Relson Ventura, he stays on the bench for us this year. Limited opportunities last year, but again, at times he looked okay. Obviously, he needs to improve his batting a little bit, but he's a decent enough defensive player. He can cover a couple of positions as well, and potentially, we've got to give him a chance and see if he can develop into the best player he can. Eugene Helder is on the bench for us this year as well. Again, he didn't get much opportunity last year. Did okay at times. Again, a good, a decent enough, anyway, defensive third baseman. Yeah, I mean, he's young. We'll give him a chance when the opportunity arises and see how he goes. Rick Kuipers is on the bench. He was, of course, quite good for us last year as well. We've just kind of moved a little bit past him, but a good, thinking good pinch hitting option last year. But batting average of just under 250. He hit 3 home runs as well. So yeah, he's going to be useful. That's for sure. And the final member of the bench for now, the roster expansion happens sort of after a week almost, so there'll be plenty of time to get sort of some of the other guys back in that we've signed for this season. But Sherman Marlin, not a very good defensive player, but again, someone I had half an eye on just sort of depth with the bat. But again, we got him in from the Pirates. He batted 276 on-base percentage of 380 last year. I think he's going to be fine, isn't he? He's going to be a good player for us if we need him. But, hopefully we won't. So there we go. That is the opening day roster for your 2021 Silicon Storks. We can see the clubhouse here. It's a relatively good place to be. Larkin has more good relationships than bad relationships, which is obviously a very nice thing. generally speaking, we're a bunch of happy blokes, which is what we like to see as well. And you can see DeVint is a little bit unmotivated, but other than that, we've got a leader in Martina, we've got a captain in Martina, leaders in Jackson, Dyke, and Van Drell, and generally speaking, very, very good. So that's it for today, guys. We will be back on Saturday as normal schedule for opening day against HCAW. They were a strong team last year. It'll be our first look at a number of players. I'm really, really excited to get this season underway, so I'll see you then. Take care.